Good morning, guys. It is another beautiful morning and I'm standing at the back of the XC90, which means, yeah, I'm off to Oslo for a few days. You guys know the drill. Come on, let's go. So for some reason, the GPS is acting a little wonky lately, and it probably has to do with the settings. I've probably changed something in the settings, but every time I press in a destination like Oslo, which is like the biggest city in Norway, I get some kind of alternative address that has Oslo in it. So I have to go in to the filters and choose post numbers or post codes that has Oslo in it, and then I get Oslo at the destination, Oslo the city, but I have no idea, and frankly, I don't have time to check it out now. First off, after about 10 minutes of driving, gotta fill up some washer fluids. So down here we have the hood release. There we go. And then you pull it up a bit. And then you have a release here which you slide to the right. If I could do this with one hand, sure. And of course you have struts here to hold it up, and here you have the washer fluid. And
I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Come get lost with me. Come get lost with me.
So finally clear the city, clear the traffic, finally on the wide and open road. It's always nice to get on the wide and open road and clear the city when on a road trip. So you can just chill, relax, suck in the scenery, and turn up the Bowers & Wilkins sound system to the fullest. It's about a 500-kilometer trip or a 7-hour drive to Oslo. So cue the B-roll and let's go. Have been wondering if the D4 engine is a big enough or sufficient enough engine for this large car, and the short answer is yes, I actually do think so. The 190 horsepower 2-liter diesel with 420 Newton meters of torque is a good enough engine for this car. So in city driving, the power is more than enough. It's really responsive and it's actually really quick off the line. In other words, if you use this car mostly in the city, the D4 engine is more than enough. It's punchy, it's responsive, quick off the line, and accelerates quite strong up to like 60 or 70 kilometers an hour. But what if you use the car like I mostly do? So I've done about 72,000 kilometers since this car was new, and most of that has been driving on country roads and on motorways, passing trucks and stuff like that. So how does this engine fare? Well, for the most part, it's more than sufficient. It has good passing power, and I know it's not the quickest car in the world with a 0 to 60 time in about 9.2 seconds. There are a lot of cars that are quicker, and a lot of people out there are on the look for a car with better acceleration. But for most people, I think the D4 engine works perfectly fine in this car. But the big question is, would I recommend the the D4 engine in the XC90? Well, I have a few answers for you guys because this is not an easy question. So if you use this car mostly in the city, I would most definitely recommend the D4 engine. It's more than good enough. So if you live in a big city like London or Paris or Stockholm or Berlin, sure, go for the D4. It has more than enough power. But if you use this car on motorways with higher speeds than we have here in Norway, we have the speed limit of 110 kilometers an hour. If you have higher speed limits like in Germany or other European countries or other countries in the world, and if you carry a lot of people, I would recommend the D5 engine because it has 45 horsepower more and a little more torque. But why did I not get the D5 engine when I use this car mostly on country roads and I fill it up with stuff in the trunk? Well, when I bought this car, or when I ordered this car back in October or September 2015, the D5 only had 225 horsepower. So the difference when I drove both back to back wasn't that big. But the new D5 with 235 horsepower and the power pulse with the compressor, which spools up the turbo, is a much better engine. So with that in mind, today I would recommend the D5 engine if you can afford it and if you need the extra power. Down, 2.5 hours to go. Since we last talked, I've been thinking about, of all the engines in the XC90 range, which one I would actually recommend. So I've driven the D4, D5, and T8 in the XC90, and I've driven the T5 in the V90 cross country. So if you're not sensitive to fuel prices or you don't care about fuel economy, I would most definitely recommend the T5 all-wheel drive if you can get that car in your market. If not, it would probably be the T6 all-wheel drive, because I know stateside you cannot get the T5 with all-wheel drive. But that engine, the T5, is very smooth and very powerful. It has enough oomph and it's a really, really nice engine. I loved it in the V90 cross country. So if fuel consumption is not an issue, if you're not sensitive to fuel prices, or if fuel prices in your place of the world just aren't high, I would most definitely go with the T5 gas engine. It's a great engine, a smooth powertrain, and just an overall really nice power plant. There we go. So finally in my hotel room in Oslo. So hope you guys enjoyed the trip. Hope you guys enjoyed the journey. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.